Welcome to Influential Entrepreneurs, bringing you interviews with elite business leaders and experts, sharing tips and strategies for elevating your business to the next level. Here's your host, Mike Saunders.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Influential Entrepreneurs. This is Mike Saunders, the Authority Positioning Coach. Today we have with us Paige Velasquez Budde, who's the co-founding partner and CEO of Zilker Media. Paige, welcome to the program.
Hi, Mike. Thank you so much for having me on today. I'm excited.
You're welcome. And I want to hear all about what you do, how you do it, why you do it, and who you do it for. But let's get started with, what's your story? What's your background? How'd you get into the media industry?
Sure. It's an interesting story because I didn't actually seek to get into media. I actually went to the University of Texas, and I was on track to, study pre-law and go that track. And, during my time there, I just realized, hey, this isn't the course for me. And one summer, I decided to look around and try some different internships, and one really resonated me, which was kind of the catalyst to everything I'm doing now. I found a book marketing PR firm here in Austin, Texas, called Shelton Interactive at the time, and decided to try my hand at PR for nonfiction books. So primarily we worked on business books and healthcare books. And we also did some Christian business books at that time, that genre. And I just fell in love. I fell in love with PR. I fell in love with marketing. And at that time, if you can think back to when Facebook advertising was starting to emerge and all those different types of online advertising were really
back when it actually worked, you mean?
That's right. The golden days, I like to call it, when we could target really well and, have an incredible cost per acquisition there. And, I started falling in love with the digital side as well, and learning and just trying to immerse myself in that. I ended up, staying in book marketing at that firm for several years, full time, and just absolutely loved the agency life. That firm was sold in 2016. So from there, I went on to represent what I call, people, brands, in the political space for a little bit. And then we started Zilker Media in 2017. And we were able to bring together, it was actually some of the team members from that book marketing firm who started this firm. And, we were able to say, hey, what did we do really well? Well, we realized, we represented authors really well, and most of these authors led businesses. And so our goal was not to only work with them on a project, but help them scale their businesses and work alongside them long term. We also got rid of the things we didn't do well. So
yeah.
And that was just such a beautiful, just kind of entrepreneurial journey, being able to create something new. And that's really kind of been my journey throughout all of this. And we've done incredible work here at Zilker Media for the past 8 years. We just celebrated 8 years.
Neat.
And, we get to do a lot of work with CEOs, founders, and just some incredible companies all over the world.
That's awesome. And one of the things that you said that I kind of triggered on was we got rid of the things that didn't work. And what that connotates is you actually had to notice something that was working or not working. And I think that in business, leaders or influencers or CEOs, all of these people tend to be type A++ squared 10 times 10, and you're just blitzing down the road and you don't take time to notice what's working or not working. And then if you do, having the courage to take action on that. Do you find that same thing?
Yes, that's exactly right. We really looked at what were the challenges of that previous business, what prevented the type of scalability that we wanted, and how could we, do our best to, overcome that with a new business model. And that's where we just had to really lay everything on the table and decide, most importantly, what do we want to focus on and do more of? And then what are the things that we can leave behind? And we've kind of done that exercise, I would say, at least once a year with our business, because the business that we work in, media, online digital assets, all of this shifts so quickly. And we're in an age right now where it's shifting even more rapidly than what I had seen, the past decade of my career. And we constantly are having to say, what's not working anymore? What do we need to leave behind? And what do we need to zero in on moving forward? And sometimes I think the focus on where we need to kind of pinpoint moving forward is sometimes the really challenging part when there are so many shiny objects.
100%. And we can go down a rabbit hole on that one, shiny object syndrome. And people tend to pop, jump, and never give enough time for something to actually work when it probably would. But let's not go down there, because that's, a little bit of a telling trait that a lot of people have. They don't want to admit that they've got it, but I think we all do. Let's dive into your book, The Strategic Business Influencer. I love the title because influencers these days really do influence. And a lot of people think like, oh, well, I'm not on TikTok doing the big videos with the big following, but in business, you can be a business influencer to the niche or segment you work in. But I love the strategic business influencer connotation, because that means you are taking time to know strategically what it is your audience must understand about what you do, so that you can provide educational content to teach them to solve that. And then if you need me, let me know, and we can, work on that together. But talk a little bit about the genesis of the book.
That's exactly right, Mike. You nailed it. I've seen, influencers, of course, have completely transformed how we look at media, how we consume content. And I'd been seeing the past several years, business leaders who were doing this just incredibly strategically in their niche. And when I define a strategic business influencer, it's kind of counterintuitive, like you said, to what we think an influencer is. It's not about the number of followers. Strategic business influencers are leaders who are bringing strategic visibility to the activities, a lot of times that they're already doing behind the scenes that are going to drive results in order to scale their impact. And I think that's what, a lot of leaders don't realize is it's not about becoming viral. It's not about being everywhere. It's getting in front of the right people. So I'd rather you have the right 500 followers than the right 5 million. And really looking at what activities do you do as a founder or a CEO or a leader that drive results for your business? And how can we just bring the right visibility to those things to scale your impact in a strategic way? And so that's really the premise of the book, is getting leaders to start thinking about it in that way, and thinking about, what does their brand look like alongside the business? I talk with so many CEOs or founders who go, you know what, online is just not for me. It doesn't make sense. My business is driven entirely by referrals. And a few things I will tell them is, that's great.
You've been listening to Influential Entrepreneurs with Mike Saunders. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.influentialentrepreneursradio.com.